Hello. So, can you tell I'm excited about today's discussion? Yeah, I'm a little bit excited, and I hope I can tell you all exactly how I feel about this. We are still on our topic. We are still on the topic of performance necessity, and I've talked about some internal factors that lead you to the necessity to perform. And if you remember, I talked about identity. Go back and look for the video. It's somewhere down in the pages, and I talked about obsession. I will still be mentioning those, but today's one is exciting. Let me tell you something first. A story. Yes. So today I had a meeting, and it's a meeting I have every week. So I already know what goes down in the meeting. In fact, during these meetings, we have all the senior management team. We have this meeting every week. Sorry, we have this meeting every week, and then during this time, we're all like saying, okay, this is what has happened in my department or in my unit or the work in my hand. This is what has happened over this period of time. And my boss, God bless his soul, my boss takes out time to find out what you would have done better. And God help you. If there are things you haven't done well, if there are assignments that you haven't carried out well, if there are improvements in performance indices that he is not seeing, like he's not feeling this, it takes out the time in this meeting to address it. I'm just going to leave it for those of you who understand what address it means. Okay. And I must tell you so that you can get some context in this story. My boss doesn't suffer fools gladly. Okay. So moving on, I was preparing for this meeting, and you know what that means. There's that pressure. I am looking at my numbers. I am finding out explanations, what didn't go right, what could I have done to make sure that these numbers are looking better than they are. What am I going to do next week? And okay, I'm putting down all these reports together. I'm calling the people under me, and I'm like, hello guys, where are the results we expected? Where are these activities? And I do all of this for about 2 hours, and I'm primed and I'm ready to go to this meeting. And I'm getting there. Somebody says, oh, you didn't hear? Sorry, it was cancelled. We said we were going to hold it on so days and no longer these days. And I was like, oh, I completely forgot about that, because in my head, these meetings always happen on this particular day. And so I came back to the meeting. But you know what had happened? I had done and I had reviewed almost a week's work. I had set a pattern for what was going to happen in the next few weeks. And don't get me wrong, this is something I do every day. But because of this meeting, I came under pressure to make sure that I looked at everything I was supposed to do. I crossed all my T's, I dotted all my I's. Why? Because I was going for a meeting and I wasn't going to look incompetent in that meeting. And so that brings us to the third driver of performance necessity: accountability. Accountability has gotten a bad rap because of people who don't want to work, people who don't want somebody looking over their shoulders. They have given it all sorts of name, and everybody wants to be their own person now. But I can assure you that there is nothing that drives more than the external force. The first times we were talking about performance necessity, we were talking about the internal drivers. The internal drivers first is your identity. The internal drivers is the obsession you have about a particular topic. Yes, those are drivers. But do you know something, that even if you are lazy, even if you do not have purpose, you don't have a vision, you don't know what you want to do, but something that will drive you, an external force called accountability. And so, if you feel like you are quite not there, you haven't found something that you are obsessed about, go and serve under somebody. There is nothing that puts you in check as accountability. And if you are lucky, you have someone who is invested in your future. Somebody maybe like a mentor, could be your boss, but if you feel aligned to the person's purpose and where the person is going, and you submit yourself to that level of accountability, do you know somebody could say, you know what, by by this time on Tuesday, I want to see your plan for A and B and C. And just because you know I cannot disappoint this person, this is no longer, about you, or how we say this is between me and God. God sees my heart. Mm-mm. There is an external person or an external group of people before whom you must save face. That is a strong driver of performance necessity. And I can tell you, people who are going somewhere have accountability people all around them. It is not the accountability partner where you and your friend agree to go out and jog every morning. Mm, that is one level. Okay. I am talking about someone before whom you don't want to mess up, someone you respect enough that if they are disappointed with you, it means something to you. Okay, most people can have this in their workplaces where somebody says, I'm going to give you a query, and that means something. And that's why you see guys in the military, moving from one cadre to one cadre, and if they decide that this is what they want to do, they accomplish it. It's not only because they have the strong identity, which they must have, but it's also because there is a strong level of accountability. There are consequences, there are things that must be done. And so I guess what I'm saying today is review your opinion about submission. Review your stance about accountability, about reporting to someone, and see, can this be a cover, an umbrella, a platform under which you can grow? Stop with the complaining. Okay, I've talked really about people who complain, but if you have decided that this is what you must do and there are structures, you are the lucky one. Quit complaining. Stop thinking about quitting. If your reason for quitting is because there is someone holding you to too much accountability and you cannot come and kill yourself, okay, I think you should just stop watching this video. In fact, unfollow me. Right now, the crop of people I feel called to are people who insist that there must be more to this life. And so when you find yourself in any structure where you are being stretched, welcome it. Work towards the deadlines available. Obsess about being the person who is perfect in that work. Okay? Because 7 is part of the process. Also, it is not a lack of freedom when we say get yourself under a structure where you are held accountable. It's just that this time around, you are working for you, you are being shaped for you. This is something that is going to lead you where you are going, and so it must be done. And so the third thing about performance necessity is accountability. And accountability is the first external force that drives performance, and it should be welcomed. I personally feel that there are very few human beings on earth who are self motivated. You wake up and you beat yourself into shape. There is always something driving you. You are lucky if all your forces are internal. Most of us require some external force, somebody to which we will report and say, see where we were yesterday, see what we are doing today. Somebody who will call us out. And do you know that if you can personally put this in place in your life, then it is controlled. It is someone you choose to get accountable to. Because if there is nobody, it's failure that will hold you accountable. But by that time, it might be too late. Accountability. If I feel like discussing about this more, I will. But it is one of the strongest forces of performance I know. Do you have anybody to whom you are accountable, who can call you out, not your play partner? Think about that.